If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I could probably end the list right there, but I'm going to continue. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Speaking from personal experience, creating a podcast felt so overwhelming. I didn't know where to start, but using Anchor was a no-brainer. Their website and app is user-friendly. You're able to navigate through it easily. It's pretty cool, guys. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. A one-stop shop. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
So hello, everyone. This is Indie Center Podcast. And what Indie Center Podcast is all about is bringing collectives, creators, artists together. It's an opportunity for filmmakers, artists, actors, producers, everything to just share what they're doing, their passion behind it, and their inspiration. So David Johnson reached out, or Mr. DJ and Miss Stillwell, if you nasty, reached out because they wanted to talk about the incredible body of work that was produced with Spokes, and we wanted to sit down and have our podcast so that we can share the message and the news and get some promotion and some hype around the great work that you guys all put into this body of work. I've sat down with James Gordon before, so this is nothing new to him. We were talking about a theatrical production that he's on, and so James would tell you it's a conversation. It's not an interview. It's real chill. It's just a talk back between everyone here. And it's going to be what we make it. I do have some things that I just drafted up as you know, some talking points that may or may not get discussed. It's really, you know, just a sexy conversation on this Friday.
She only said that because me and Dave Johnson talked about everything else, and we didn't let her ask the question because we covered. That's why she said that. She's saying that was shame.
No, it was love. It was love.
It's funny. Hey, Stillwell, you know about shade, don't you?
Yes.
Shady mug.
Oh, I can't stand mugs when they ain't got their summer color yet. Looking off. Up here with the winter color, Negro. Don't side with me.
Yes.
I know you mad.
No.
Wait a minute. I know you mad. Normally, you'd be able to get outside and start getting your facsimile melanin back. But now, you still looking like heat mines over there.
Let me tell you something, how pissed I am about LG. COVID-19 got me in here. This is the time when the sun come out for like 3 minutes. I'll be my ass right in it. Like, yes. COVID gonna have me in here missing my springtime tan. Bullshit. Oh, goodness. I hate it. I'm gonna stop talking so they can introduce themselves. So
all
y'all
right.
can
So I'll set the tone so then we can go into the introduction. So hello, everyone. Today we are here in our own homes because we are dealing with COVID, the corona, Miss Rona, or that damn bitch. We are speaking with the team of Spokes. We have both of our producers, David Johnson and Miss Carla Stillwell, or Miss Stillwell if you nasty, and DJ, who is also joined by members of the cast from Spokes. It is a must-see horror thriller about human trafficking in Chicago. And so now I'm going to allow each one of the cast members to introduce yourself and the character or persona or the person that you played in the film. Who did you bring life to? So,
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Erica Jackson, and I play the irate, indignant client. Yes, indignant, rude, irate client who just disrupts the, if only for a moment, the feng shui of the office, and they're trying to get some order in the office, and I disrupt the order. I use profane language, so I got a chance to cut, because a lot of the projects I've done, I've never been able to use profanity, so I actually kind of like that.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I Spokes was the first time you cussed?
I can't. Huh?
Spokes was the first time you cussed on film?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like euphoric. Hey there, beautiful.
Look here, pimpin'. If you're going to work with Dave Johnson, get used to it.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Erica Jackson, the irate, disrespectful customer that was cursing up a storm. Now we have Coco. How do you say your last name? Alyssa. Miss Coco, tell us about you and who you play.
I am Coco Alyssa, and I was the overseer. That's all I'm going to say. Enough said.
Coco Alyssa is the overseer. Okay. Awesome. All right. And then let's just get the ladies out the way. We'll say Big Chocolate to last. We'll give him his time.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Don't get him started.
He's getting so much attention. You know what?
So we can't call him sexual chocolate either, huh?
Please don't.
No, we have to live with him after this interview, okay? Unfortunately, we can't divorce.
Have my lips all pursed to say.
You know what this is, right? It's that light skin shit. That's what this is.
Wow. Here
That's
you
what
go.
this is.
Let people introduce themselves, please, Jim.
Yeah, so now we're going to go to CL Parks. State your name.
My name is Cheryl Parks. I was part of the crew. So I was one of the people running around, making sure people were fed, people had help with putting up sets and whatever else was needed. I was there.
Okay.
I was glued. That was all.
She was the crew. Let's keep it 100.
Okay.
No, it was a team.
Why don't you get out of that light? You trying to make yourself light skinned by standing in the right in the center of the light, James. Could you please? Okay, see. Blinded by the light.
That's how much I be shining all the time because I'm on TV every day.
Blinded by the light.
Okay.
Give me
So you
stuff.
see what we were saying about set? This is what set was like.
Yes.
Awesome.
Cheryl, you were saying, though, before that you started off as the production assistant, but I understand that your role grew.
Yeah. I had so much fun and I was always there. And so they said, hey, can you do this? And I said, okay. And it just, whatever needed to be done, I did.
She
But
did
it
other
wasn't
people's
just
jobs.
me.
She did other people's.
We're not going to be shady.
It wasn't just me. The kids on the set, they're not kids. The young men and women on the set.
No, they were
They were
kids.
crew.
That's what's up, though.
But they were the bomb.
Yeah.
They did
were
everything. It was, if I needed an extra hand doing it, taking out garbage, there were 3 or 4 other people right behind. Okay, we got this. So it was an amazing set. We was an amazing team. Teamwork.
So while we're allowing Ashley to come on in, how are y'all doing on this Friday in quarantine?
I have all the things necessary to be quarantined.
Word.
And I'm sheltering in place. I am with the shits.
Yeah.
I like this alone time, man.
Yes.
Who gets this kind of alone time?
Seriously.
I'm with the shit, man. I have all of the accoutrement required. My snack game is on my snack game is at a level 10 fat assery right now.
For real.
My snack game is so high right now. I got sweet, I got salty, I got healthy. Man, we can shelter in place I'll be good for like 2 weeks before I start to lose my mind.
Hi, I am Ashley Joy, and I play Talia. Hi, Dane.
Hey, Ashley.
Okay.
We just having her own voice. I can't see her little cute face.
It's right there.
Okay. So for the cast, I'm going to ask the producers a few questions so that you can hear their answers and how they talk about you. And then I'm going to ask you all a few questions about your experience and what you believe is really important about sharing the story in this film. Okay, so what I want to know, and once again, this is a conversation. There's just these talking points just for, some form of structure, because I'm military and we like a little bit of structure here and there. And it just looks sexy.
All right.
So So getting into it, Spokes, I understand, is based on life events, life occurrences, things that are true that we experience. What is this story, and what does Spokes stand for?
Well, Spokes is Spokes Bicycle Repair and Resale. It's a front. It's a community-based organization that's a front for global human trafficking. Metaphorically, I kind of established the spokes in the bike to kind of represent the different bodies that have gotten snatched up in human trafficking. On the level of this story, on a larger level, the bigger picture of what the story is about is really about greed. The wheel is greed, whereas the spoke in the wheel that we're talking about is human trafficking, which of course is sex trafficking, forced labor, and organ harvest.
All right, Miss Stillwell, tell us what is Spokes, like the story. What does it mean?
Spokes is it's the explanation of, for me. You know, we talked a little bit in the other hour about how Black women, Black trans women are just disappearing off the streets. You see these, Amber Alerts. Nobody ever finds them. No one ever looks for them. There are never any leads. Young Black children are just snatched off the street. Healthy Black men are just coming up missing. And nobody has an explanation. And Spokes is the answer to the question, how does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? So that's what the story is about. It is because what Spokes tells us is that the shit is real. It's not a test. This is not a game. And it's always about a money grab. People have been experimenting on Black folks for hundreds of years. The whole practice of gynecology started from experiments on a Black woman's uterus. You know what I'm saying? The Tuskegee experiments and things like that. So Spokes is the 21st century answer to the question about what happens to us.
Okay, and where did the inspiration come from to create this piece?
I'm going to tell you for myself, I started seeing more and more out on social media images and articles dealing with human trafficking, little girls coming up missing. Here in Chicago, there was over 30 women that came up either missing or dead before anyone would even call it a serial killer. So in that, and I have, millennium children. My oldest child is 26 years old, and she's seen more parts of the country than I have at 50. Not the country, I'm sorry, more parts of the world than I have. She's been to Cuba, she's been to Dubai, she's been to all of these different places. And that is their generation. They live this kind of YOLO kind of life where they just kind of go off and do with no real kind of understanding of the consequences for, what can happen on a global level. So for me, I wanted to do something in the horror space that dealt with human trafficking, just really kind of as a morality tale of things for these kids to start thinking about. I mean, the reality is they are snatching them up.
Yeah.
And these folks are coming up missing, and the resources are not being allocated to get these folks back, or when they are found, they've either been pimped out horribly through sex trafficking, or they're finding their bodies with organs missing. And this is a very real thing.
Wonderful. So I'm going to ask some of the cast members now why they joined and what Spokes meant for them. I want to know what did they think when they read the script. So I'm going to start with Cheryl. Working you have to feel something for the script even as a crew member to want to join. So tell me, what did it mean to you when you read the script?
Oh, when I read the script, I was like, I need to see how to do some of this stuff. And the script itself was amazing. I was like, okay, I wonder how that's going to work. How are we going to do this? And I just wanted to be, like they said in that play, I wanted to be in the room when it happened.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Okay, now going to Coco. What did you feel when you read the script, and what inspired you to join the cast of Spokes?
Well, I have, I think it's about a 20-plus year working relationship with David. So most of the time when he presents things to me, I say, okay. But this one, I was a little hesitant because it was such a dark character. And then I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And I think initially I might have been, I was always on the fence, and I had a job that really wasn't allowing me to not work on Saturday. And I know it's gonna sound crazy. I was working as a car salesman, but you know, when you're have hustle jobs, and at the time I needed that damn job. So when they fired me for complaining about being sexually harassed on a consistent basis, I said, okay, I'm supposed to do this, and I'm glad that I did, because it was a very nice stretch. And I think that as a performer, what I've learned, you do yourself a disservice if you don't take challenging roles. Now, with that, you just don't take the role because it's challenging. What are you bringing to the table? That's what I felt.
Okay.
It's a very, very complex, complicated person who is doing some things and leading an organization in some very kind of combination of 42 Laws of Power? Is that the book? Am I referencing the right book, ladies and gentlemen, Carla? And
yeah,
Iceberg Slim and Encant all kind of wrapped up into one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Girl, you didn't whoop out the Iceberg Slim reference. You know, everybody ain't ready for that.
That's how you know she is a studied artist.
Oh,
And,
no.
and you know what?
There's nobody on this call that's not a studied artist. Like, these people are cold.
I knew when I wrote the character for Coco, and I told her this, and I told her this at the time, and I'll tell her this again. Wasn't nobody gonna play this motherfucker but her. I wrote the character specifically for her because I love to give Coco that stuff that she goes, why are you giving this to me? I love that. Because she has such a reach. She's a multidisciplined musician. She's a multi-talented actress. And I love giving her that stuff that she thinks, this is outside of my space, and watching her go find it. That's the joy for me, which is why she and I have worked together on 4 separate productions. She's 4 totally different people in each production that I work on. And it's just a great relationship.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. Miss Erica, tell me, what did you think when you read the script?
Dark, challenging, but the story needed to be told. It's, you know, with Black women and Black period in this particular arena, our story is never told. It was told graphically, aggressively, and truthfully. And I was just mesmerized, honestly, by the script. And I know that sounds kind of weird, you know, based on the subject, but I was mesmerized. And as far as playing different characters, the character I played, that needed to be portrayed as well.
Okay. And
I really enjoyed my time with everyone that was in the production. Dave and Carla are like the bomb.com, and I would always do anything for them. So
Carla, Erica, and I, real quick, I'm just going to insert this real fast, but we did a short film 2 summers ago. And that's how I met Erica. I actually had cast a brother named Jonta Richmond. And he was like, hey, is it all right if I bring my girl Erica? And I was like, fine, that's cool. And I fell in love with her. She's such a talented actress that I knew that when I had something, I'm like, I got to find a space for her to participate. It was a very small role in Spokes. But I felt confident that she was going to be able to bring something to the character, and she did. She actually did a really, really wonderful job. And it's like I told Erica, I've got to find space to find that character for her because I think she's a really talented actress.
Thank you. I'm here. I'm ready.
She is all of that, man. We like her.
Thank you.
Okay, very nice. Ashley, what did you think when you read the script?
Honestly, the script is the reason why I joined the project. Just because, I think you sent it to me, and I forgot where I was. I was like, I don't think I was even like in Chicago, and I couldn't come to the auditions, and I was like bummed about it because it is very beautifully written. Like if you read like the words on the page and the way everything is set up, it honestly surprised me when I read it because I don't know what I expected it to be. Yeah, I don't know what I expected it to be, but I guess I didn't have any expectation, and it blew my mind because it's such a relatable story as far as like it really is happening all around the world. this is an industry that is very well known now, and it's not a secret. And I think it's important to tell it from the point of view that David is telling it from, and in the way that he's telling it, and how it starts from and with Black stories. So I think that's what really just like made me want to be a part of the project. As soon as I read the script, it was just very well written.
Okay, very nice. James, what did you think when you read the script?
We're outside, we're going through the table, we got food, we got beverages, everything is cool. And so I'm reading a couple of different parts. So while the people I was reading weren't up yet, I read the entire script while we were sitting there. I leaned over and asked Dave, "Hey man, you wrote this?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "This is..."
This episode of the Indie Center podcast is brought to you by Spotify, the place where you can listen to your favorite artists and podcasts for free. Did you hear me? You don't even need a premium membership. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcast so you never miss an episode. Are you subscribed to me yet? Wink, wink. Premium users can download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, and that is so convenient. How many times have you found yourself in an airplane or driving down a road with no reception and you just want to escape but can't? You are stuck sitting next to somebody that snores, or you're stuck in a meaningless conversation and you just want to listen to podcasts. Well, now you can, guys. And you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends on Instagram. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to download the Spotify app and search for Indie Center Podcast on Spotify, or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. Also, make sure to follow me so you never miss an episode.
Sinister shit. I straight up told him. I said, I like this. I even said what role I wanted to play. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I told him. But no, on some real stuff.
It's so
real stuff. I just telling you the truth. It was heavy. It was heavy and scary because it's real shit going on. I mean, it's for real. Every day, every moment, there's something that's going on. And the fact that he was able to put it down on paper, and then we brought it to life, it was amazing. Sinister. He twisted.
DJ got a twisted mind.
I'm not going to deny that, no.
It is spooky as fuck, man. But you know, it's like some old Jordan Peele Get Out shit. This shit is scary because it's real.
And the other side of it is that we take the time to make the art of it. It's not just about doing because if you look at most of the stuff that's in the human trafficking space, if you want to call it a space for movies, it usually deals with some mercenary kind of stuff where there's some nebulous woman that's trapped that these group of men need to go run and save. And, you know, by the time you get done with it and points out your teeth, you done forgot about the damn movie. We were trying to make something that is going to stick with you. I needed something that was going to kind of resonate. I didn't want Friday the 13th. I wanted more Exorcist. You know what I'm saying? I wanted something that psychologically was going to sit in your head for a very long time as a classical piece of art, and not necessarily just, you know, a shoot 'em up, go save the girls kind of thing.
Very interesting. So from the preview that I had an opportunity to watch, I learned that sex trafficking has no limits. The target includes young boys between ages 5 and 7, and even infants and newborns. Tell me about that.
Well, we were very fortunate enough to have a ton of resources to get the actual real deal as to what was going on. And one of those resources actually happened to be my assistant director, who has a background affiliated with law enforcement. And she was able to give very, very real, sobering statistics. And that was one of the things that she came back and talked about, where we're quick to kind of make the assumption that this sex trafficking is about little girls. But she was quick to point out, no, the onset of predatory behavior right now is for infants and toddlers, and usually it's for the boys. And the boys are anywhere between, can be up to 5 to 7 years old, but they prefer the small ones. So, yeah, it's really sick, and a lot of times, unfortunately, human trafficking is only tied to the sex aspect of it, but it also is about the organ harvesting in the forced labor, and that has no age demographic to it at all.
Wow. Cass, did you know this when you joined?
I didn't know. I didn't know about the young boys, and I didn't know how vast a system it was, and I did realize it was a pretty old system, but it's been going on and it's worldwide, and that's what makes it so scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, you hear about it all the time, and this child was found and his organs are gone, and it stops, and nobody does the research to find out who took the boy or who did. Why was he rolled up in the exercise mats? Nobody actually goes any further than that, and that's what makes it terrifying.
Right. Yes, that is very scary. Miss Stillwell, there are some heavy moments. There are some heavy moments, some incidents that may cause heavy emotion, including fights, some gruesome activity. How did you go about making sure that your cast feels safe inside and outside of the production?
Part of that safety was the camaraderie. Like, everybody knew what it was, but when people needed to take a minute, they had a minute. We made sure everybody was fed and was hydrated and had blankets when it was cold, and we tried to make sure the set was as comfortable as possible, that everybody knew beforehand, this is what we're shooting today, and this is what it is. We had some very uncomfortable incidents on set just because of what we were working with. I tried to make sure there was Jameson and liquor at all times. Okay. Somebody needed a shot. And Dave and I we tried to make sure we were open. Mm-hmm. If somebody comes to you, if an artist comes to you and says, I'm having a moment, I'm not feeling comfortable, I don't feel like this is what's happening. It's your job as producer, director to swerve, to zig and to make sure that the set is safe. And one of the good things about the set was most of where we shot, we had control of it. Mm. Like, a lot of the scenes were shot in my home. So if you need to lay down, get on the couch, you know what I'm saying? Like, rest. We tried to make sure that everybody knew that you could come to us, and we would try to talk it through, work it out, and move forward. So I hope we did a good job with that. I really do. You never know, but I hope we did.
We're gonna find out.
No license so far.
Well, David,
if I can jump in.
David, how did you?
In real quick on that point. There's no windows for you to look out. We get there. Call time one morning was, I think, 7 a.m. and another time it was 8. So you're there. We eat inside the building, and then we're done 4 or 5, 6, something like that, somewhere in that neighborhood. But you're downstairs the entire time, except we go to the lunchroom to eat. So you don't see outside. All this action is going on down in the dungeon, grimy, gritty place, and you feel it. You can see the words come to life. You could see it. Yeah. And you were comfortable. They talked about earlier. I was in a real bad car accident second weekend, and they told me not to rush back. I came on back. I don't. Dave, all the time, Dave and Carla both made sure that I was good. They came over and asked, "Hey, you all right? Everything cool? Good to have you?" And I just want to say, just on some regular stuff, this was a heck of a cast that got assembled. So you had to bring your shit every time. Yeah. You had to bring it. Because if you didn't, somebody would know. You'd be the one. You'd be the sore thumb if you sucked. You know what I mean? So you would. Carla, am I lying?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, James. I'm gonna tell you what we discussed, and y'all wasn't even on the phone. I was bragging on y'all. I brag on y'all all the time. It was we brought together the super friends. I wasn't even trying to.
Yep. That's why I'm snickering. I'm snickering because it was serendipity.
Yeah.
Like, Nobody was there that shouldn't have been there. Nobody was out of place.
Yeah.
Everybody got their game up. Everybody came and brought their game up.
That's what I was telling you, Jakar. It was like the universe. It needed this project to be. It just really did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Most of the stuff that I write is usually really, really dark and intense like that, and it you have to form a relationship with your cast to where people are comfortable with the material that you're presenting, because generally I'm asking people to go to very, very dark places that they don't normally go. And do things that they don't normally do. There was a whole lot of physical work that Ashley had to do on this piece. And there were some things that was asked of my actors, such as Darren Jones and Coco Alyssis and Zeke Stewart, that everybody really had to have a level of trust. There's a love scene that happens where people are not clothed, and that stuff had to kind of be worked out. So it really is just allowing them to know that it's a safe environment. Most times, by the time I get to that, I'm all over the place. Again, as an independent filmmaker, you're doing 30 different things at one time. So a lot of the soothing of the set really kind of fell on Carla to kind of be that voice to kind of make sure that everything stayed cool. He did most of the wrangling, which kind of freaked me up to just work with the actors. And by the time the actors came to me, they were already prepped and ready to
go. Okay. Now, Cheryl, I've been a stage manager multiple times, and I know that some of that pressure of making sure that the production team and the cast, are good, are comfortable, are safe. It falls on you. So how did you carry that weight and get your job done?
I leaned on DJ and Carla without them knowing it. So I questions, learn to interpret, and learn how to, okay, I need this person needs to know ABC. So how do I get ABC out of this person so that the communication goes through and everybody knows, all right, nobody's just sitting there angry at me because I told them 5 minutes in, or we needed food on set and nothing's there. So, like I said before, I had an excellent crew. Those kids is anything I needed them to do, anything I asked them to do, I said, okay, we need to move this over here, or this person needs these things. I was able to make sure that the clothing person, I said, okay, I have found these items, hold these for me. Nobody told me no. And that was the most wonderful thing in the world. And then Carla and David would explain things to me. Well, I need this because I need this scene to look like this person to feel this way, and have the coats ready because it's supposed to look like summer out here. And so the communication that went on that set was excellent as well. And that was important so I could do my job.
Very nice.
I just want to interject something about Cheryl, because again, in the other hour we were talking about ego, and this is not just for Cheryl, this is for the whole, like everybody involved in the project. There was very, very little ego involved, and it takes a very grounded person to be like, I really don't know what this is, so how do we move forward? So Cheryl was very good at being like, this is what's happening now. I could do this, I could do that, but what do you want? So it's easy to communicate in a moment with someone who has no ego involved. So Cheryl was brilliant on set because she just wanted to work. Like, it wasn't about the rah-rah and the system box. She really was there to work. So nice. Communication was easy. And that was really with everybody involved in this production. Nobody felt away ever. Everybody was just there to do what they needed to do and move things forward.
Very nice.
Yeah, when I tell you, after I read the script, I wanted to be there to see this. It took me 2 days. Not because it was a long script. It was just, I had to put it down and breathe and process and then go back to read it again. So being that the script made me feel it, I really I can't wait to get in the seat at the theater and be like, ooh, okay, what happens next? Okay. So that's what it was about for me.
Wow. Now, Ashley, as the leading lady here, you take on a lot of that emotion, that traumatization, and it's really difficult to clock out when you go home to your family life, but how did you make sure to take care of yourself in those moments, and then also to leave the production on set, and then to be, who you are at home? So first, how did you take care of yourself?
Honestly, I think what made the production just such an amazing, cohesive production was that literally Carla, David, and Cheryl truly took effort in taking care and consideration of the cast. So it was never a time where we needed something and it wasn't provided. You know what I mean? I think just them being more experienced in this industry and in this art form, it was just so much wisdom that they passed down. Carla told me things on set that I will carry for all of my life. You know what I mean? And it was like that. When she talked about she had Jameson and shots ready for people who needed it, I was one of those people. And it's the conversation that we had over that shot, it was just it was so caring, and it was no ego involved. It was I'm not talking to you as an actor that's playing in this film. I'm talking to you as a woman who's in an industry that is male dominated. And I need you to know these things. Almost as if Aaron was passing down knowledge that you had to carry, to be successful, or you had to carry to, remain sane in the industry. So I think one of the main things that helped me take care of myself was knowing that there was a cast, crew that cared about what I could say. Even David, it's funny because David was filming, he was directing, he wrote it, so it was just all of these things happening at once for him. But if ever I was hey, I need to talk to you, and I need to express the way that he made me feel, it was never, I gotta hurry up and I gotta go do this, I gotta make sure this is okay. It was, okay, sit down, no one is gonna be here, no one's gonna be in the room, and you tell me how you feel, and literally I felt so listened to. You know what I mean? It wasn't a hurry up and get back on set. It was hey David, this is how I feel about something, and I need to talk to you about it. And it was okay, let's hear this and let me know what I can do. So and I'm so grateful for in this production is that I think it's so rare that you have a team that truly as the person and not just the performer. You're not just this puzzle piece in their story. You're actually, a person, and energy was so important, and how we felt was so important, and that is something that helped me in that process of after we're done filming, you know what I mean? We're like a family. We're making jokes. We're having fun. We're eating. We're checking in, and I think that is what really made the process so enjoyable and so fun.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, let's hear from Coco. Coco, how did you take care of yourself during the production?
I'm on the back porch in the dark, so I'm gonna have a little light come in so you guys can see my face. This will look weird.
What are you doing out on that back porch?
She's having a cigarette.
She's smoking a little bit of reefer.
No, we're not calling it that. This is a podcast.
It is not the reefer.
It's the reefer.
It's not the reefer.
It's the COVID. She's smoking the COVID.
Cigarette.
That's one way she took care of herself.
I smoked these. I was honest.
Oh.
There were of sensitivities, in particular in one particular scene that I did ask Dave, and I've asked him lots of times when I had to go to places that were scary for me, that I had to just be, central people that need to be there, and that's it. Sound, actors, director. And that's how I took care of myself, is by being honest about where I was with the process.
So I hear you saying you asked for what you needed in that moment of sensitivity and vulnerability.
Yeah.
Can we have a clean slate? Can we have a clean set? Okay. Very nice. I think that's
the blessing of the amount of time that Coco and I have worked together is that, we have a way to communicate that allows for that comfort zone. If she needs to tell me, motherfucker, I need 5 seconds, then I will give the motherfucker 5 seconds if that's what she needs. But that's kind of where we're at with each other. She lets me know what she needs to get to where she needs to go, and I give it to her.
Okay.
Because I know she can get to where I'm asking her to go to.
And I think the thing that is important, and I think the mistake that people make, especially people who do this type of work and they're motivated by money, I think people get confused about what it means to give the artist room. They decide that you're moving, like we're on this schedule, and if I give them a moment to breathe, I'm going to be off that schedule. Many times Dave and I looked up and we were like, oh, we got all that shit done today. Praise the Lord. Because, like, oh, look how we on schedule, geez, and where am I going? And never once did we have to sacrifice an artist needing a minute. Like James was talking about, he had a horrific car accident. He needed a minute. And when we found out what happened, he came back to work way quicker than we thought he was. We'd already planned for him to take a minute because it was going to get done anyway. It's better for him to be fully healthy, fully ready, fully prepared than for us to be real bitches about it. Like, because life happens, things happen, people feel away. Ashley had a moment. She needed a minute, and we needed to give it to her. Coco's role was tough. We needed to give them those minutes, but we didn't lose any minutes giving them any minutes.
Okay, understood. Erica, let's go to you. How did you take care of yourself during the production?
I am a firm believer of please let me get my sleep. So I kind of prepared myself leading up to each day I was on set to make sure I was well rested. And that was pretty much my major contribution to it. And I just gave as much as I could and then some to the character. But I'm just a firm believer in just being well rested and being prepared physically and mentally to do what's requested and required, given what I can and what I'm supposed to do to the character. So my rest was very important for me.
Very nice, very nice.
She also got the opportunity to throw paper in my face 20 times. So,
okay.
She got to release some of her character's aggression on my cameo.
Okay.
You know, you try to do a cameo, you try to be cute, and here come an actor throwing paper in your face.
And Erica had to mess around and do a little bit of stunt work, too.
Oh, wow.
She had some stunt work.
Oh, my God. That
we
was so
funny.
funny.
A whole mattress, baby.
Carla had me in tears talking about some of the chairs that were in there. So we're sitting in the chair and we're kind of going over the lines, and just all of a sudden, boom, the chair gave way and I literally bounced on my ass. Literally.
Wow.
Literally. And I thank God for the cushion back there because I probably have a broke tailbone right now.
Wow.
But I was
do you know the location owner charged me for that damn chair?
Ooh.
Lies.
He charged me for that chair, dude.
Wow.
Like, didn't nobody break that chair?
I'm like, it's from IKEA. It was probably $17. Go on somewhere.
Right. Come on. Oh my God.
Okay, we don't want to leave out the man here, James. We understand that as a man, your presence alone can be heavy when we're dealing with such a emotion-driven and traumatic event such as human trafficking, and we look at you as, you know, the oppressor or someone that may be a image of that thing that caused trauma or that, you know, caused someone to feel triggered. So in knowing that, how do you take care of yourself and how do you take care of those around you on set and off set?
One of the most telling moments of filming was Ashley and I interacting. We were, there was a scene and Dave said, he needed me to do this. And I looked over, I said, no, we don't have to do that. We can do this. I said, and she and I had a conversation. I said, would this feel better? Let me talk about it to you as opposed to anything else. I don't have to grab you. You know what I mean? A lot of it was conversation because I'm very cognizant of the time we live in, and I'm also an aggressive gentleman. I was raised different. So, and these people who I was around forced you to be the utmost professional because that's what they were. Yeah, we joked and we laughed, but it was that type of environment where you had to keep that up. And as a male and Oh, the role Diablo was a horrible mother. Oh my God, just horrible. But you play these roles sometimes. But it was a conversation. That was one thing that was indicative. It's a lot of conversation. Carla and I, real talk, leading up to and during, she did a lot of coaching with me. Because, truth be told, when it comes to acting, I'm not ashamed to say this, I'm still a novice. I mean, I book a lot of stuff, but I'm still a novice. I'm still learning. So she coached me through that, and I got feedback. So they were very helpful in keeping the level of professionalism and stuff like that up. But you understood what it was when you read the script. And my whole thing as an actor, as a black male actor, is to make sure people around me are cool. And I know I'm imposing. I know my whole thing is imposing. So if you ask anybody, along with the joke, and I make sure, because that was just that type of thing. We knew what type of material we were dealing with. We knew it was heavy. I mean, it's heavy, and we're just talking about it. But when you're in it, and you see it in front of you, like I said, in that dungeon, it felt different. So a lot of conversations, Carla. A lot of conversations.
Okay.
A lot of, and it's Ashley, she'll tell you a lot of times. I asked her so much so that somebody else said, my daughter is about to be 28, so I guess she's a little older than Ashley. So a lot of times I looked at her like, "Hey, you cool? Everything all right with you?" It was that sort of vibe.
Okay,
I hope that answered that.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, Jim was very protective of the women on set when he wasn't making light skin jokes. He was very conscious of his demeanor and the role he was playing. Like, that's a lot. And I think that's another thing that was just so beautiful about this set. You know, there are always exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, everybody was concerned about how people feel, you know?
Very nice. So for the cast members, sometimes in order to come into a character or embody a role, we have what we call alters, and we maybe channel, certain people that we idolize in order to take us to that place. For example, maybe you embody Catwoman, a certain role that Halle Berry played, who was, or maybe you embody Gabrielle Union, or just some bad female that was an antagonist that allowed you to see yourself in that role. So for some of you, did you find yourself channeling an alter in order to play in your role? We'll start with Coco.
No. I channel who the character is. That means if I have to create a backstory and a past to that particular character, then I do that, so that person has the unique blueprint that the writers intended. And I try to make it as real as possible, from what is her zodiac sign to what is her moon sign, her rising sign. Where did she go to school? What kind of student was she? Was she the outcast, or was she a part of the in crowd? What was family like? How many siblings? And I make it as rich as possible, because all of our lives are rich. So I think for me, I never want intentionally to try to take a role from another that somebody else created and put it in that person's place. I would rather come from a standpoint of somebody that I know that is the embodiment in some kind of regards, but it's still not going to be 100%, because that would be copycat.
Okay.
Or mimicking. But yeah, that's kind of like how I try to make her, because I've never seen nor heard in time of anybody that was like this particular character. So there was it was a completely blank slate of not having a reference point of even anybody that I knew, or even in history that I think I could draw on. So I don't know, maybe in some regards that was really hard, but I don't know, I kind of like challenges.
Okay, that's good. Challenges help us to go different places and only build versatility and variety and diversity in our skill set. Let's talk about, how was your experience working on Spokes? Cheryl, tell us, how was your experience working on Spokes?
The short answer, the short, quick, and dirty is I found my tribe. I like I said, I had kids. I think they were calling me mom behind my back. I had wonderful mentors. I had wonderful mentors, and the cast and crew were amazing. I mean, nobody went by their title. It was, what do you need help with? And let's get this done from everyone. And I loved it.
Okay, got it. Coco, what was your experience working on Spokes?
It was awesome. It was awesome. I got to have fun with people that I know and love, and meet new people that I now know and love, and do something different, and to be a part of a collective of amazingly talented people of color who are creatives. It's just, you try to soak it in and you dread for the rap day. We still did we have a party? Yeah, we did have a party.
Not yet. No, we didn't. We didn't have an official party. Everybody wasn't there.
Party. Not yet. We haven't had it yet.
Okay, because I was like, I know there was a gathering of some sort. But yeah, so it's always like, because it's such a unique experience that you just kind of like, when you get the combination of respect, admiration, like, and then you get to create something together, it's really a collective, every part of that particular puzzle, from the crew all the way to, the actors. It's just like, we are all a part of a collective, and we want that collective to be amazing. So we cheer each other on and assist, like Cheryl was saying, with whatever needs to happen. Wonderful. So it was great.
Okay. Erica, you're next. What was your experience like working on Spokes?
Dope, professional, respectful, funny, collective, family, networking, and getting more experience in how I want future characters to go.
Wonderful. Thank you. Ashley, what was your experience like working on Spokes?
It was fantastic. It was professional. It was a black ass time. It was beautiful. It was so professional, but you have a group of creative black professionals, and I think like what bonds black people is the trauma they go through, and like the way they heal through that trauma, whether it's laughter or love, or what I mean. It's just, I don't know, it was just such a family bonding moment that, like, when I see any of them, it's just like, it's all love. It's a very like profound love that I have for everybody that was involved in the entire project. So yeah, it was fantastic.
Very nice, very nice. James, what was your experience like working on Spokes?
I hate it when it ended. When you're in the trenches of a project like this, you bond with people. The ribbon section between Coco, Carla, and myself, section was just epic. Like, the jokes back and forth, like, continuously each day. And then to hug people and say, hey, great job, and to applaud people, that was awesome. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was just, it was one of those things that just, you grew with people. And I want to go back to the level of talent that was around me that forced me to be better. I'm a better actor. There's still some things I know I'm going to work on, but that's because of the people around me. Because they were so freaking good. You know what I mean?
Very nice.
I mean, they were so freaking talented. That helped me with growth. And two things that I'll be done. Cheryl understates her importance on set. She understates that. She's doing that humble push, and that's not necessary. She was so helpful, making sure people could, making sure people had more of, making sure you're okay. So thank you, Cheryl, for all what you did. You know what I mean? You were an MVP too. Okay. And Carla and Dave, thank you for letting me be a part of it. Thank y'all for having the wisdom to pick me. I love y'all, and it was great being with y'all. Except for I can't stand
Okay. So next, we're going to keep our answers short, but tell me, what are you hoping the audience take away from seeing this production? If you can describe it in 3 words, 3 takeaways you want the audience to receive from seeing Spokes. Please tell me what that is. Okay, Ashley, go ahead.
Awareness, action, art.
Okay, thank you. Erica, what do you want us to take away? 3 words.
Awareness, observation, inspiration.
Ooh, okay, wonderful. Coco, what do you want us to take away in 3 words?
Oh, I don't know if I have 3 words. I might have 2 at best. Stretch. Okay, I'll get maybe this is 3 words. Stretch your boundaries.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Cheryl, what do you want us to take away in 3 words?
I don't have 3 words, but best way I can say it is myths are based in reality.
Okay, very nice. David, please tell us 3 words. What do you think the audience need to take away from this?
Wow, wow, and wow. That's what I really want them to watch. I want them to have a different experience than, unfortunately, what a lot of our Black audiences get when they go see independent Black theater or independent Black films. I want them to see the professionalism, the quality of it, that it can be done by a small group of folks. Hollywood ain't the only place that's doing it. We're doing real work here.
Very nice. Well, if I could sum it up in 3 words, I want people to take away, just even as a onlooker who wasn't even on set, but just listening about the production, I want people to take away awareness, as was stated, triumph, acceptance.
Acceptance. Yes, do take away acceptance and do take away the great lessons that we learned here today from each member of the cast. We spoke with the directors, David Johnson and Carla Stillwell, Ashley Joy, Coco Ulysses, James Gordon, Erica Jackson, and the associate producer Cheryl Parks. Yo, that was a fun conversation, and I hope I get an invitation to that party. Until next time, thank you for listening.